Hello, I'm Pamela Davis. Welcome to episode 207 of the Well Done Life podcast. Hello, and welcome back to episode 207 of the Well Done Life podcast. I'm your host, Pamela Davis. If you are new here, hey, how are you? Welcome. I hope that you will stay for a very long time. And if you've been here before, you guys know the deal. I love you deep. Thank you so much for continuing to support me and rock with me. I wouldn't be able to do this without you, and I am so grateful for your continued support and feedback, and I hope that you will continue to stay for a while, as well as bring friends. Before we get started with this week's episode, you guys know how I like to set the foundation. It's really important to me to make sure that everyone kind of understands what we're doing here in the Well Done Life. So the Well Done Life essentially is a safe space. And since we're creating a safe space, I like to treat it like a house. And I believe that it has to be built on really strong foundation. And my preferred foundation materials are clarity and love. Clarity is really straightforward. I just want you to understand that this space is for women. I created this space because I believe in the power of women. I believe that we need spaces where we can be our most authentic self, where we can learn, where we can heal, and where we can grow together, where we can inspire each other. So that's what this space is about. And I really hope that by me sharing my journey, the good and the bad, as well as spotlighting other women in the community, that I'm giving you an opportunity to realize that you are equipped to handle anything that's being thrown at you, that anything that you are navigating through, and that there is an end. You can overcome what you're facing, as well as you can learn maybe different ways so that you don't have to go through some of the hard times of life. And so I hope that you will feel empowered to share your story and to learn from the stories that are being shared here. So welcome. And then that kind of leads me right into my second foundational element. It's actually my favorite thing. I believe in love. I'm a sucker for love. And for me, it's really important that I show my love for you by praying. I really do believe that two or more people, when we come together in prayer, that our prayers are magnified. And I know that I'm not the only one out here hoping for great things for us all. So I like to share my prayers with you weekly. This week, I am definitely, as pretty much recently as probably the last several months, if not the last year, I have been standing on peace as being one of the main prayers. So I am definitely wishing you peace. I pray that you are able to take moments of stillness to regulate your mind and your body. You know, things are very different and the atmosphere feels heavy. And maybe that's just me. I don't know. But, you know, just kind of like I talked to you guys about in my last episode, I've been feeling a lot. I've been feeling kind of tender, and I still feel tender, but I definitely am prioritizing my peace. And I hope that you are prioritizing your peace in times like this, where you are coming to realize that you cannot save everyone. You have to put the life vest on you in this moment. You have to put the oxygen mask on you in this moment so that you can be well, because we've earned it. And it's time to sit back and just process and observe. And even in that, it can be very tough, but sometimes we have to. So I'm hoping that you will give yourself moments of stillness, because you need them so that you can keep going. And in that stillness, I hope that you are also getting moments of clarity. Like I said, the world is shifting and changing, and we'll talk a little bit more about all that. But if there's one thing that I would tell you right now that you need, it is clarity. Like, you have to be able to see things for what they are. And sometimes that means sifting through information or feedback that doesn't sit well with your spirit, that kind of makes you question. You have to be, maybe even sometimes willing to go back and dig in a book to research and figure out the truth. You have to be willing to find the truth. You have to be willing to be clear. And when you have that truth, you have to be willing to stand on business about it. In times like this, where it is very easy to be fed information, it is very important to know who you are, what you believe, and stand on that, your values, because the world kind of wants to try to shift you, and we have to be willing to recognize who we are. And I know for myself, I really am finding myself praying even more than I was praying before, because I know what God tells me. I know what the Bible tells me. I know who I was born to be. And so I stand on my principles. You have to, because your principles will be tested in times like this. And you have to be able to be clear about who you are as a person, what you value, and who you want to be in this world. So I hope in this moments of peace that you are able to get clarity to help you move forward in the seasons that you are, because it is very important that you stand on business, because as they say, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And you do not want to put yourself in a position where you are falling for anything, because that is very easy to do in times like this. And so, so like I said, we are getting peace, we are getting clear, and we are surrounding ourselves, I hope, with community. And that is my third prayer. I'm praying that you have a good sense of community, that you have people around you that you love, that you trust, that speak life into you, that speak feedback into you, constructive, positive, to help you elevate to be the best person that you can be. Community is important. You need somebody. In times like this, you're not going to be able to do this alone. So make sure that you are cultivating real community. And when I say real community, I'm not just saying that, obviously it's connecting with our physical friends. Yes, that's very important. Your friends, your family, make sure the people that you love know that you love them, and, that you are cultivating that. But I'm also thinking in the sense of the communities that we are building on social media, the people that we connect with, being able to translate those relationships outside of social media. Because sometimes in myself, I'm guilty of it too. It's like you're looking for scroll updates on people's lives, but that's only a snapshot of what someone is going through and what they're encountering. If the friendship is really real, if the community that you're building really real, make ways that you guys can connect, especially if they're people who, you really care about. If they're family members, make sure you're reaching out, because life changes at a dime, as we've seen very quickly in these past couple of weeks. January 2025 is coming in hot, to say the least. And we just really have to, value what matters. And I think in times like this, community matters, because again, you get so easily spoon-fed out here nowadays with information. And sometimes we think a snippet of what we see on social media is the all-encompassing of somebody's life, and you just don't know. And unfortunately, things can happen so quickly. Cultivate and nurture the relationships that matter to you. And believe me, I'm guilty sometimes of it myself. I get caught up in my own little world, and I'm going to work on doing better. I am working on trying to be better about it. But at the same time, pour into the people that love you, that are solid for you, that are 10 toes down for you, because you need them and they need you. In times like this, it is very important that we have community. So like I said, we are prioritizing our peace. We are gaining clarity. We are building community, and we are doing everything in our power, which is my fourth prayer, to surround ourselves in love. Yes, love, real love. I know I always stand on business about love, but we need it, because again, kind of like speaking back into community, those people that you love, that you cherish, spend time with them. Spend time loving on yourself, being good to who you are, being nurturing. Love is not just romantic love. It's not just friendship love, but it's self-love. Be loving to yourself. Speak life over yourself. These are not times to, be so hard on yourself, to say things that, you're not doing right. Okay, there's always areas of constructive feedback for us all to give to ourselves, but there is more room for love. Be loving to who you are. You are out here in the world trying to make it through. That makes you a superhero all in itself. So be loving to yourself. Be loving to the people that you love. Surround yourself in love. Create those safe spaces that you can come to when the world makes you feel like you want to run and hide. Give yourself that love, because you deserve it. Remember, as the great philosopher Kendrick Lamar says, we deserve it all. You deserve it all. So surround yourself in it, and don't settle for anything less, and don't do things that don't align with yourself, align with your peace, that don't align with your clarity. Stand on business about you and be loving in everything that you do. So those are my prayers for you this week. I'm recording on Saturday, January the 18th at 2:27, and I'm really glad to be back. It's it's definitely been a journey. Like I said, I'm still feeling a little bit tender, but I just definitely wanted to come back because I just feel like it was time to sit down and have a conversation. I want to thank everybody for their support of episode 206. I really appreciate it. Like I said, it's just been a really interesting transition to the year. And then like right now we're like a few days away from January the 20th, which is Martin Luther King's birthday, as well as obviously the inauguration. And so a lot of shifts are happening. And like I said, I kind of feel like the energy is heavy. It feels different, and it's felt different for a while. And so I've just been trying to give myself some grace and be very nurturing. And I apologize about going ghost. It's just, I had to. My mental health needed it. My energy needed it. I just didn't have it to give. And I'll be honest, I was spending some time focusing on the people that I love. And I needed it because I needed them just as much as they needed me. And it was just what I needed in that moment to just kind of stop. And it's very rare that you take moments where you can stop. But I'm realizing this year and going forth into every year, like I was saying about, focusing on the people that I love and focusing on myself and being nurturing and caring. I'm recognizing that in moments like this and probably going forward, if I'm not right, I've got to stop until I feel right. And so that definitely means that sometimes calls will go unanswered, emails will go unchecked, but it doesn't mean that I don't care or that I'm not engaged. It just means that I'm trying to figure out how to bring myself back. And so to everyone that I left on red, please understand it's not you, it's me. And I'm finding my way back. And so I'll be in touch. I'll be around. But when it comes to me, I'm standing still on that and prioritizing my care. And I hope that you will do the same, because I would never meet you with any other energy but positivity for that, because I think it's time. Like, this is that season where we have to stop running. And, everyone's talking about the 92%. I'm part of the 92%. I'm sure a few of you are that are listening or more. And we're prioritizing ourselves. And so I put my self-care above it all for a while. And so I'm grateful that I have a chance to be back here today. Especially, like I said, in this point, it's interesting because I have a title for this episode already, and I feel like that's kind of going along with where I'm going with this conversation. The title of this episode is, for those of us that feel like the sky is falling, because doesn't it feel like that? Like, you wake up every day and you don't know what you're going to hear in the news and what you're going to see. And it definitely is one of those times where you want to disconnect. And they know, again, it's 92%. We're protecting our peace and energy. But believe me, we're still engaged. We're still connected. You can't help but be connected because, again, you got to think about the people that you love. I know for me, for the people that I love, I can't disconnect. I got to make sure that my girls, my mom and my sister, myself and my friends and my love, we're all protected, and I think about that. So I want to know what's coming, because you got to face things. You have to walk through them. You can't run around them, especially in times like this. And even though this is not where I thought we would be, we're here. And so I have to be prepared. And so I wanted to do this episode because I really do feel like, like the sky is falling sometimes. And that's what I have been feeling. That's one of the reasons why I've been so quiet. I know that God is still on the throne. So for those of you that always, go instantly into religion, please know that I'm definitely in the Bible and God is truly in my thoughts. And I'm definitely praying very much more than I have prayed in a very long time. But I still can feel like the sky is falling. And in these moments, I find that my energy just is like, I'm just trying to get through every day. And so I wanted to do this episode for those of us that might be feeling that way, to let you know you're not alone. There are a lot of us feeling this way, I think. It's just we're all trying to figure out how to say it and just keep going, because that's the thing. You have to acknowledge what you're feeling in order to move through it. And I'm just trying to acknowledge it so I can move through it. And of course, like I said, instantly, I have been praying much more, and God has definitely been dealing with me. I'm so grateful. And God is still on the throne in the sense for me. I definitely see the blessing still coming. I'm very grateful for everything that I have in my life, my health, mentally, physically, spiritually. But sometimes it feels a lot. And especially I can imagine for, those of you that are parents or, significant others and just trying to, put on a good front, it can be hard. Because I know for me, it feels hard sometimes. Sometimes the weight of the responsibility of caring for other people feels overwhelming, especially in moments where I feel so uncertain. Because like I said, it felt like the sky was falling. And when the sky is falling, it's just like, I'm just trying to figure out how to get up every day, go to work every day, make sure my family's taken care of every day, and just be insulated from the next latest shock that could potentially come. I mean, it's crazy. And so I'm trying to find peace in anything that I can. And that's to me like one of the things that I wanted to share, for everyone who's out here feeling like the sky may be falling. You have to prioritize pockets of peace. You have to prioritize those moments where you sit still. Like for me right now, I got to get 7 hours of sleep a night. I don't care how I slice it and dice it. That is essential for me. I am prioritizing my rest like nobody's business. I have a sleep clock, my little alarm to help wind me down. And I am just so grateful. I'm taking magnesium. I'm doing the things, I am prioritizing rest. I hope that you are prioritizing rest because our bodies need it. Our minds need it. We are so connected right now. It's crazy. And it's hard to let go of it. It is. I'm trying. I have to admit, I haven't been as active on like Instagram and Facebook as much as I usually am. I like Threads right now for what it's worth, but I know after, all the things I've heard in the last few weeks coming to pass and probably even more that are coming like with TikTok and all of those things, I'm going to have to really look at how I want to, change my consumption. But right now, one of the things that I'm doing is I'm prioritizing rest. I'm putting it down. And so I would suggest you put it down. And I can definitely tell you right off rip, I will not be online on the 20th. Nope, not at all. Because I'm just not going to do that to myself mentally and spiritually and emotionally. And I would suggest anybody else do the same. Do what feels good to you. It's not my job to tell anybody how to feel, what to do, how you navigate things, but prioritize your peace. And find pockets of joy. I don't know about you guys, but right now that is like the thing that is getting me through too. Like I have found so much joy again in music. I mean, music always is the thing that kind of helps keep me going, but I am finding joy like so much in different music. Like I am obsessed with Bad Bunny right now. His latest album is just giving me so much joy. It's just all of the salsa, the merengue, the reggaeton, and just talking about his love of Puerto Rico and just love in general, like it's giving me joy. And yes, I am using Google Translate for a lot of it. Like Bad Bunny's got me in such a chokehold. I'm about to pull out Duolingo and start speaking Spanish again because I really love it. I'm just hurt. I tried to get tickets to go to PR to go see him because I was like, I need to feel that energy. I want to be surrounded in joy and happiness. And I know that those concerts in PR are just going to just be amazing. And unfortunately, I couldn't get tickets. So I'm a little heartbroken by that. But right now, every time, if anybody sees me driving, they'll probably see like, what is that girl doing in her car? I'm dancing in my car because Nueva York has me in a chokehold. There are so many others, Nueva York, and there's a few other songs on there that I love. And I'm going to link that album because it's so good. If you have not heard Bad Bunny's new album, you need to hear it because you need joy. And that brings me joy. Kendrick Lamar's album GNX brings me joy. Like I'm finding joy. I want you to find joy. My boyfriend's got me into Doechii. Like I'm finding music to just kind of lift me up. And of course I'm on alert like everybody else to find out what is Beyonce going to do. It be a concert tour, new album. I'm ready because again, I need that joy. In moments like this where it's so heavy, music is the soundtrack of our lives. I am very optimistic to see what type of creative pieces we get from music to books. Just again, it's all about finding joy. And then I hope you find some joy in that. And then also going into books, like I just mentioned, yes, I'm going to be picking up a book. I would suggest, especially in times like this, where books are in jeopardy, where information is on, at risk, I think that this is an opportunity to pick up a book. And so I definitely would recommend everyone, really think about, some of the books that you have on the shelf that are staring there looking at you. I know I'm not the only one, so I'm not trying to call you out. I'm calling even my own self out. I have like about 20 books that I've bought because I just love books. I love the physical touch, the smell of the paper in my hand. That I have to read. And so I am prioritizing that as well. I just started reading Octavia Butler's Parable of the Sower. And I'm sure you've all heard, or you can always Google and look on social media, all the different threads about how it is very reminiscent of what we are going through, very to the point that it feels prophetic, and it is, and of what we are experiencing in this country. And even though the book was written several years ago, like I believe in 1996, I'll have to check, but it is a very detailed account of like the fires and so many things. So it is a very good book. I'm very excited to dig into that, but I'm also finding joy in books. I would suggest maybe digging back to reading because you want to consume information that allows your mind to think, but at the same time allows your mind to be at rest. Find again pockets of joy. And if books bring you joy, it's the time to dig in, to read even further, to expand your knowledge and to keep expanding your knowledge. And so, that definitely is kind of two of my joyful things. I'm also finding joy in working out, taking care of myself. I've talked to you guys about my health journey several times. And so I'm very committed to that. That's one constant thing, like being committed to my health. And in moments like this, again, maybe this is a time to start to reevaluate your physical health, because kind of like what we've talked about before, one of the things that I always foundationally have utilized for my event, The Reset, which is that one day experience that I had last year and that I will be having again, is that there are several main pillars to life. And so typically when your mental health is off, your physical health can also be impacted, and the inverse of each other. When your physical health is off, your mental health will likely be impacted. And then of course there is financial health, because if you're physically not well, if you're mentally not well, you're not going to be able to be financially well, because obviously, resources are in jeopardy. And then also it talks about building community. And so to me, it's always very important to keep those things in the main forefront of life, because if you are not pouring into yourself, especially physically, everything can crumble. And so you need to make sure that you are giving yourself the nourishment that you need, the proper nourishment. I don't know about y'all, but I've been an emotional eater for a good part of my life. I just really stopped as I started to get more serious about my health journey, not being so much of an emotional eater. You notice I didn't say that I'm not an emotional eater. It's just stopped not being so much of one, because I can't eat. I don't keep anything in the house anymore that's fun. So if I'm emotionally eating, I'm eating like a couple of nuts. And I can tell you, it just doesn't hit the same as chocolate and cookies and cakes and pies. So that's just kind of one of my tricks. But it definitely is one of those things that you have to deal with. And especially now, because the more stressors that we are going to face, the more likely that it's going to be triggering you. And so you want to make sure that you are on top of your triggers. You want to make sure that you are giving yourself space to say, you know what, in this time, I am going to do something different. I'm going to be nourishing to my body, because also, unfortunately, when you're stressed out, you are more prone to illness. And, we have RSV and all these other things going around. COVID is still, a constant friend. And so you definitely just want to try to make sure that you keep yourself physically going. We are a culture of constantly moving and going, team no sleep, get it done. No, it's time to rest. It is time to focus. It is time to get clear. It is time to prioritize your wellness and health and be strategic as you are moving forward. So it is essentially very important that you really tap into you. And for myself in the season of my life, as I am preparing to have a hysterectomy next month and all these things, like I really want to be physically at my best, because again, to me, it's about self-care. It's also about self-preservation, making sure that I'm able to be what my family needs and from me, to be strong and to be well, and also to be just the best version of me. That's what I want. Everybody it can be out here doing everything that they want, but the one thing that they can't take away is you. So you need to prioritize you. So I hope that you will give yourself some thought, and just say, maybe this is a time that I try to do some things a little bit different as it relates to my health, that I prioritize movement, I prioritize rest. And you're not doing it just so that you can get a check. You're doing it so that you can survive, so that you can thrive, and that you can really focus on finding the joy of life, be it books or what have you. In this season, there's so many things I could say. I've been on my soapbox before, and I'll be honest, I just don't have the energy for it now because I feel like there's so many different opinions and we all know what's going on. None of us are blind. Well, let me correct that. There are some folks who are still blind to what's going on. And unfortunately, you're just going to fuck around and find out. That's just how it's going to be at this point. And there's nothing anybody can say or do. That's why I'll be honest, I'm part of the 92% who's just going to sit back with thoughts and prayers and blessings for you, because I'm never going to lose sight of empathy. But I can't focus my energy on trying to make you see something that you just don't want to see. But at some point you will. And so I'm really focusing now on, like I said, just trying to be the best version of myself, surrounding myself with good community, people that I love, taking care of myself mentally and physically, spiritually, and financially, and just trying to create beautiful memories and joy in a world of crazy. And when the sky seems like it's falling, it could be. And some days it might be, and it feels like it is. But I've made a decision to find joy in the moment of crazy. I hope that you will find joy in the moment of crazy, because there's really nothing else that you can do. You can't change the outcomes right now. The outcomes are what they are. The only thing that we can do is make sure that we do stay educated about what's going on. Don't be so willing to try to turn everything off that you become numb to the facts. We don't have that luxury. Like, we can be unbothered. We can be focused on ourselves, but you still have to understand what's up. And I do truly believe that most people do understand what's up, but you just can't, because you just can't disconnect. But at the same time, give yourself strategic disconnection and stand on business about it. Don't let other people make you feel like you got to chase the rabbit, chase the hamster wheel in order to get ahead. That doesn't necessarily have to be your story. And if this is your season where you're trying to figure out, how do I navigate through this season of feeling like the sky is falling, figure out moments of release, whatever that looks like for you. Like for me, sitting here and podcasting and talking to you guys is a moment of release. I feel myself getting lighter as I'm speaking, thank God. But then I also am thinking, do I want to write a little bit more? How do I want to creatively express? Because that's my outlet. I express through creativity. Find your outlet and give yourself space to have that. Don't try to walk around here and just buttoned up like a suit, trying to act like everything isn't affecting you when it's affecting you. Stand in the realness of your emotions. Just channel them in a way that is going to be prioritizing your peace and well-being, not everything else or not everyone else. Because in this moment, you have to put the life vest on you, the oxygen mask on you. And when you do that and you are well, then you can put the life mask and oxygen mask on other people. We need you to be strong so that you can feel better and supported and loved. And then you can go out here and be better and support and love other people. Because the sky does feel like it's falling. I'm not going to sit up here and sugarcoat and act like, oh no, it's not as bad as it is. No, it is. It's exactly what you believe it to be. It's what we knew it was going to be. It's just now time to face it. We're in the season now where we're, as they say, we're in the end game. So now it's a chance to get to see what the end game actually feels like. And a lot of us are frustrated and kind of trying to buck against it because we didn't ask for this moment. There's a lot of things in life we don't ask for. But at the same time, we have to admit that we are equipped to handle anything that we are faced with, that God never forsakes us. He never leaves us. He just wants us to be diligent. He wants us to be open. He wants us to listen to him. And so we have to go to him and talk to him and follow the tenets that we've been given. Don't be spoon fed by other people. You know who God is. You know. Don't lose sight of that. Don't lose sight of you. Make sure you are doing the right thing for you and supporting your community and being gentle and loving. Because yes, the sky is falling, but you are still here and you will still thrive when the sky falls too. So that's my episode this week. And I definitely plan on being back next week. I'm sorry, again, I'm trying to work on my consistency as my emotions kind of lean into it. I'll be back. But please don't hesitate to reach out to me. You can email me at hello@thewelldonelife.com. You can also reach out to me on the socials. I'm on Threads, as well as I'm also on Facebook and Instagram, and I'll have all of my information in the show notes, but definitely don't hesitate. Again, this is a community and I'm here to love on you and support you and encourage you, just like you have loved and supported and encouraged me. Please forgive me if I don't respond immediately. I promise it's not you. It definitely is me. But just know that it's truly not out of maliciousness. It's just I might need a moment to breathe, and I have to take those moments because I have to be the best version of me in order for me to serve you as well as others. So be that best version of yourself too, please. But definitely don't hesitate to reach out. I know I keep reminding everybody about being that best version, but I see too many people, getting caught up in the cycles of negativity, and you just get so wound up. And I'm just like, I get it. I'm frustrated. I'm angry too. But we still have to make sure that we're channeling our energy in the right way. We still have to make sure that we are putting on our oxygen mask first and putting on our life vest first before being out here trying to light up the world and save it. Make sure you are doing what you need to do. Sometimes we have to sit down in order to stand up. And I'm truly believing that this season is a moment of sitting down so that we can stand back up. Don't lose sight of it, even when it feels so uncomfortable. Just know that all things are temporal, and that it will come to an end and things will change and shift again. We just have to be prepared and ready. So take this time to be prepared and get ready. So hopefully I'll be back next week. That is my plan. And definitely, like I said, I'll have all the information in the show notes. And if you need anything, don't hesitate to reach out because I'm here. I hope that you will have a wonderful rest of this Sunday and an easy start into the week next week. Be mindful of yourself, praying for you, sending good love, energy, positive thoughts to you as we ease into this week. And I will talk to you soon. Take care of yourselves and each other. Bye-bye.